Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. We'd like to introduce to you some breaking news from Forbes Breaking News. As you can see here, breaking news says Trump signs multiple new executive orders while taking questions from the press. Pretty standard stuff. But before I play this video and give commentary and interjection as necessary, would like to thank all the people watching on Facebook Live and also the people watching on the recorded version on Facebook. Also, would like to welcome and thank all the people watching the recorded version on YouTube, Rumble, Dailymotion, and Vimeo. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to play this. It's about 20 minutes. I'm going to interject with certain important points or anything that needs to be said. The rest, I encourage you to listen carefully to what he's saying to get the overall idea and to get some details. As the saying goes, devil's in the details, details matter. So let's start and let's play it. I'm going to have this cranked up the volume as much as possible. Let's start. Hear that, guys? Hear these big moves? I would love to be on a team like that. It's making huge moves, being a mover and a shaker, and that's what it is. Stay tuned, guys. There's going to be much more coming. This is, as he said, it's going to be a golden age, at least from a tech point of view, and at least from a financial point of view. So let's continue. See that, guys? Okay, sorry. It's just a commercial. Nice. Good for Trump on that because we have to protect the constitutional rights. If they're not protected, they will be done away with and evaporated. So good for Trump on that one. I have to pause here. This is so huge because they've said for 3 decades that the public was not ready to hear who actually killed JFK. What they did find out through ballistics that there was more than one shooter involved because of where the bullet was coming from. They found out all this information, which is more than what I can tell you, but it's going to be declassified. Now, as they're going to say, there's going to be some redactions, as in blotted out parts. Basically, what they'll take the text is they're going to basically just put black over it, and you won't be able to see it. Sort of the detail in this. However, 3 decades later, now there is something called the 50-year rule, which means after 50 years, the government declassifies things. Now, it's been more than 50 years, but good for Trump because I didn't see Biden doing it. Wait, did you hear that? He said decades. Read between the lines, guys. See? See how symbolic that was? Give it to RFK. Didn't sound like much, but when you think about the significance and the symbolic meaning to that, then you understand that that was significant. What you guys are going to hear, by the way, I've already watched this. I'm just breaking it down part by part. You're going to hear lots of questions from the press. Pay attention to the questions that they're asking in its type and in its details. And then finally, pay attention to how he answers it. Let's continue. Did you hear that? A judge wanted to blockade what he was saying, even though there is constitutional precedence. What people don't understand is what was actually written precisely in the 25th Amendment to the Constitution about what they call birthright citizenship, which is oversimplified. It would be a person who's born in the country is a U.S. citizen. But see, you have to read the whole thing. You can't just read one part or the other. You have to read the whole thing in its full context and in its entirety to understand precisely what was said, the context, and the purpose. We'll hear more of it right here. Did you hear that? Democrats just delay. Well, there's some truth to that because guess what they did? There was other things like declassifying it they didn't do, like pardoning the people that were involved on January 6th. They didn't do. About people protesting pro-life, they didn't do. You see the pattern? You see the trend? Yeah, his job is to get the most for the country. Okay, it's kind of like he's the leader of the country, but his idea is to be like the agent and also like the executor. You know what I mean? Exactly. That's the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Democrats will say, okay, well, government's going to put up, and then, it'll be great because the other people make up the difference. Well, guess what? Government should be putting up anything. Companies want to invest, they will do it on their own behest, not on, well, government's going to have to know. Government's not doing, putting up anything. The company, they want to benefit, they want to do business here, they put up the money, period. Okay, sorry about this, guys. This is just the commercial. Can't help it. Did you catch that? Did you catch his plan? Reduce. You're gonna increase revenue from the oil production. It's gonna reduce because the price of oil is gonna go down. It's gonna reduce the cost of things because cost is connected to energy. And then because of that cost, he's connecting that to interest, which I'm not quite getting, but it somehow probably works. If they have these people, if they present the people the pardon, I'm gonna go live for you guys. It's gonna be big because it's gonna make him look really good, and probably there'll be some incentives for them to come to the White House, etc. But yeah, if he does have that, I'm gonna present that live, as in broadcast whatever's through whatever the news agencies this live. That is, if that happens. No matter what the reason is, short of them putting a gun to their head or threatening like nuclear war or something, hostage. Since when is it ever okay to destroy evidence? That's called evidence tampering. It's very illegal. We cannot do that. They got away with it. See? But when you do that, you have something to. You have something, definitely have something to hide. Because why are you destroying evidence? You're not supposed to do that. Even the police is not supposed to do that. But at the top government, they decided to do that. But here's the unfortunate thing is, depending on how you look at it, Biden will not be tried. This is my prediction. I don't give very many predictions because it's very possible I could be wrong. Biden will not be tried. Why? Because the attorney general that was under him and other people that could have tried him for a crime, for that crime or for anything else, and or anything else he did, they didn't try him. So that means because the time has passed, maybe the legitimate process, like for example, people won't have confidence in this and legitimize think, oh, this is legitimate or whatever. Say, oh, this can't be legitimized because why did they wait, right? So, and then they say, okay, because, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he's not gonna be charged with any crime. He's too powerful. And that's just how things are. Seeing the smoking gun, I'm pretty sure they deleted that too. It's pretty interesting when their own daughter. Uh, I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, but basically stabbing her in the back, and it's disloyal, and has it on audio, but it's not prosecuted. See how we have some indiscretions? Nothing to see here, guys. Right? Let's continue. Hmm. Facts. They can say that's the slander all they want, but the thing is, if you do something which is by definition corrupt, then what can you be classified as? Or what can you be called as? Corrupt, right? Is it not? By definition? See how much of a farce that was? Not only did they shield themselves, so from their perspective it was smart. But from a justice point of view, it's very corrupt. Of course it's corrupt. You didn't let the evidence come out. That could have showed he's innocent. But they didn't want that. They just had such a what's the term? Derangement syndrome, where they just he had a bullseye on his back, and they're just attacking, attacking, attacking. And in the end, they didn't win that because, of course, the truth will always come out. No matter how hard it is, truth always comes out. Okay, sorry guys, it's another commercial. By the way, that's not hyperbole because the president has privy to a lot of secret and classified things, especially because he has a need to know. So I don't doubt that. Do you guys doubt it? It's up to you. You know why he hasn't heard it? Because it's not true. You see, in his statement, what did he say? Not by the color of your skin, but the content of your character. So once you say not the color of your skin, that doesn't just include people with dark skin. That includes all. Otherwise, he would specifically say not judging African American, dark skin, whatever, people of color, whatever politically correct garbage saying you want to use. He said not to judge by the color of your skin, but the content of your character. So you see people trying to turn this around. You see, you can, if you listen carefully, the agencies have an agenda. They're trying to turn around what he said and just think that people are just going to believe, oh yeah, that's what he really meant, but they haven't actually seen it. Let's continue. What is this? Shoot down ships? That sounds like some kind of stupidity. When do you ever shoot down a ship? No, you shoot down a plane, not a ship. Do ships fly? That doesn't make sense. Sounds like a person who doesn't even have any common sense about a ship and a plane. Doesn't make sense. You sink a ship, you don't shoot it down. Why? Because it implies it's already in the air and going down. If it's already on the water, you don't shoot it down, you sink it. This is very elementary. Shows the unprofessionalism of some of these journalists. Sorry, guys, it's another commercial. Let me tell you what's behind that question. I actually know it's a long story. Maybe in another story time, I can give you the story behind it. I know a person who claims his father worked for the Secret Service. Okay. And I remember him talking to me, telling me this was over 20 years ago, telling me that the reason why they have Secret Service for people after they are done in office is not so much to protect him physically as to protect the secrets that the president has. Okay, let's give you some examples like launch codes, say classified stuff that hasn't been declassified, stuff like that. So there's always layers, there's always doors behind doors, there's always reasons behind reasons. Do you understand? See this? They want to know confidential things. If he says things, how are you going to have? confidentiality, and you have to control the situation. But if the press already knows stuff, how are you going to control the situation? Plus, you have to build trust with the people you're negotiating with. So, yeah, there's certain details that probably shouldn't be disclosed. And I suspect not just for negotiation reasons, but also for security reasons. Let's continue towards the end of this. Here's a little detail behind this. The tariffs, the usual tariff, which is another word, it's an old word for tax. Okay, it's an import tax specifically. It's paid by the person receiving them, and the reason why that matters as it relates to China in his dimension is because if the person receiving it has to pay so much, there won't be a profit, and it won't be worth actually importing it, as in buying from them exporting it, and you taking it in from customs. So there's certain things that you can just send like a letter or something, doesn't matter. Other things you have to pay in advance, depending on the country's requirements. Right at the time of shipping, you have to pay that, and then finally, there's stuff in which that, for example, let's say you have a container of things. I'm just going to give you an example. Okay, you have a container of goods. Okay, for it to get through to customs, obviously it has to be legal items. There's a list of requirements. Okay, I'm not giving you a comprehensive list, but one of them is, of course, it has to be legal. Second thing is it has to be declared accurately, the value and description, etc. And the third thing is, according to its value, you have to pay, the person receive it has to pay the tariff. So the way it generally works is, last time I knew, unless they've changed any part of the law, is that you take the actual value of the product. The tariff will be a percentage on the value of the product. So either sales price or value determined depending on uh, how US calculates it, and or how the seller and or the exporting country calculates it. But mainly for by the country that's receiving it. They have some sort of calculation or some sort of measurement on what these goods are worth. And the way it works is you take a percentage of that value, and that's the tariffs. So the idea is, by putting tariffs in, you discourage trade, because if the person receiving has to pay a tariff on that, and if it's too much, it will discourage the people from buying from that country. So it's more of a sort of an indirect way, as opposed to, he's putting a very sort of watered down terms. I understand simpler, but that's what it is. Now, depending on what it is, it may need to be prepaid, but it depends on what it is. So let's keep it at that for now. I can tell you on the rare times I ever bought anything from China. I bought a wallet from China. Okay, I did not have to go to customs to pick it up. I think it was maybe a few dollars or something. It's what they call a portfolio wallet, where it has nice extra compartments and stuff. You like a bigger wallet. I think they call it a portfolio. It has extra room for stuff, and like pocket for like zip pocket for like change and whatever. So depending on what it is, you can either mail it directly, and I don't have to go to customs to pick it up. But stuff in containers, you usually have to go to customs to pick it up. because the way it's sent over, it's sent through a ship and then the ship is docked. So yeah, it depends. Let's conclude here, guys. See the difference between him and Biden? You guys come to your conclusions of whether a value judgment on whether you think it's better or worse, but the facts need to be stated, which is that's the difference between him and Biden. So you see, that's to be continued because we'll need to see if that's going to work or not. But if it's something illegal like fentanyl, which by the way is very is it's like a dead almost because it's very small room for error. If you go over a certain amount, it's overdose, you die. Unless you use I forgot what it's called. It's like some sort of carbon-based drug or something where it will neutralize that within a certain period of time. So it's not an instant death, but it leads to death. So that's one of the concerns. And also, yeah, tariffs. I don't know how that relates to it, but we're gonna have to stay tuned to see what the explanation is. But before I conclude this, guys, I want to ask your opinion. What do you think of this video? Did this give enough information about these issues? Did you agree with those things that he signed? Is this relevant to your life, or you just don't care? You're welcome to give your opinion in the comments below. Just make sure you keep it relevant and and you know productive, as we're only trying to offer anything or contribute anything positive to this experience. For all the people watching this on Facebook Live and the recorded version on Facebook, what I'd like you to do is please click the thumbs up on the video. That way, more people can see that you enjoyed it, and more people be able to enjoy it as well. For all the people watching the recorded version on YouTube, Rumble, Daily Motion, and Vimeo, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to please click like on the video. That way, it'll be pushed to the algorithm, and more people will be able to view it and enjoy it. In addition to that, if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. That way you'll have access to all the content on this channel, as I certainly do have a variety of content on this channel for you to view and enjoy. I'll be adding more AI stuff, AI storytelling, AI decision making when it comes to games, etc. Stay tuned for that. In addition to that, guys, what I'd like you to do is please click the bell button. That way you'll be notified of all my future videos. That is, when a new video of mine comes out, you won't miss it because you'll be notified accordingly. So I'd like to wish you a great day wherever you are in the world. Take care, and I'll certainly talk to you next time, guys.